Well, fast-paced developments are happening in the Go First bankruptcy crisis. Pratt and Whitney have now released a statement on Go First Airlines, saying that Pratt and Whitney are committed to the success of our airline customers, and we continue to prioritize delivery schedules for all customers. Pratt and Whitney is complying with the March 2023 arbitration ruling related to Go First, as this is now a matter of litigation, and we will not comment further on this. Now, this, of course, is an ongoing issue that Go First Airlines is facing. Of course, do remember that Go First faces bankruptcy. Thereafter, of course, we are given to understand that Pratt and Whitney has now issued a statement. Just to tell our viewers, Wadia Group-owned Go First on Tuesday said that it had filed for insolvency resolution and can no longer continue to meet financial obligations, blaming the US company Pratt and Whitney's faulty engines for grounding 50% of its fleet. I beg your pardon. Now, the airline has filed an application for voluntary insolvency at the National Company Law Tribunal. Let me go across to Sharmila, who joins me on the phone line. She's a business and economics editor. Good morning, Sharmila. Sharmila, take us through the statement that has come in from Pratt and Whitney. Obviously, it is hoping to be able to fight some of the fire that's coming its way.
Yeah, I mean, good morning, and it is very, within hours, as we know that Go First has been fighting for the engines for months and months and months, but within hours of mounting pressure from Indian quarters, the American engine makers have come up with this clear statement that they're ready to comply with the Singapore arbitration order, whereby the court had asked them to give Go First at least 10 engines by April 27th to help the airlines stay afloat, and the rest in December. So this means that Go First, once it gets to the engines, will clearly be again to fly the Indian skies, and as DGCA has already asked them to go regularize its services by May 5th. So which means that the Go First at present is clearly out of the red. So it's a very good piece of information coming our way.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Now, as you are pointing out, Pratt and Whitney, of course, with that statement are in a way also assuring customers and the airline that it will be prioritizing delivery and schedules for all customers. I wanted to understand from you, Sharmila, where do we see this heading now? Obviously, this has been a protracted issue, but do you perhaps think that, it could be looking at a resolution?
See, the entire issue has been this complete non-communication by Pratt and Whitney on anything that has been, as they have been approached for. We had the CEO of Go First on air with us last night, who said that they have been making repeated appeals to this American engine maker to deliver on their contract, and they have been non-communicative. They have not been coming about with any sort of, they've just been pushing deadlines and back and forth. Nothing has been coming from their end, which actually forced Go First to take such a drastic step. So now with this statement coming from Pratt and Whitney and the matter being in international courts, we can sort of see a semblance of hope that things will regularize now. And let me also add that it is not just Go First which is being held at sea by this company. There are several other airlines in India and abroad which have also purchased these engines, which have developed snacks over the time, affecting the services.
All right, Sharmila Bhaumik, our business editor, thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast. Now, meanwhile, the CEO of the crisis-hit airline Kaushik Khona spoke exclusively to Republic TV. He said that the airline has grounded 28 planes, more than half of its fleet, due to non-supply of engines by Pratt and Whitney, and has resulted in a fund crunch.
We have with us also the CEO of Go First, Kaushik Khona. Thank you. Thank you. Bad day for you.
Very bad.
Very bad.
Worst.
Worst day.
Never dreamt of this. when I rejoined the Go First on 14th August 2020, the job and the target and perhaps the vision was to make the airline spring back and get 72 aircraft in operation as soon as possible. This was never thought of. Unfortunately, Pratt and Whitney, the engine manufacturer, has completely deceived us. It's been a horrible story for last 3 years.
Now,
And yeah,
can I just interrupt you there? First point is, Go First is part of the Wadia group,
absolutely.
right? As we know, Nasli Wadia and the Wadia family are one of the biggest names in Indian business. Why would, and the owners of Britannia, why would the Wadia group face a funds crunch? Why would you just back the airline for longer? Just want to get that question out of the way.
Well, I think it's a very relevant question, and perhaps it may be in the minds of many.
Yes.
And just to give you a perspective, Wadia Group is perhaps the longest living group to the extent of knowledge which I have. It's a 287th year of existence.
Yeah.
And Wadia Group is known for the longevity of the businesses. The Britannia, which you talked about, is 103 years old.
Yes.
Bombay Dang is 150 years old.
Right.
Bombay Burma is 160
So
years
why are you
old.
giving up on Go First?
It's not giving up. I think we are pushed to wall by Pratt and Whitney. I mean,
How can you be pushed to the wall by an American company? Don't you have a contract with them?
We have contract. We have contract, and we have a lot of, I would say, obligations which Pratt and Whitney has agreed.
How many planes do you have?
As of now, as we speak, we have taken 56 aircrafts powered by Pratt and Whitney engines. And total we have, as of now, operating around 55 aircraft.
You mean more than half your planes are grounded?
Absolutely. More than half of the planes are grounded.
But what I find bizarre here, Sharmila, is that more than half the planes are grounded, and the company which supplies the engines doesn't seem to care very much. I mean, over to you, Sharmila. I mean, I think this is a kind of unexpected crisis, not the kind we see every day. There's a bigger story here. Sharmila, over to you, if you have a question for Kaushik.
Thank you, Arnab. The question over here is that how could an American company tighten the noose on Go First over the years systematically? First, we see 7% of Go First airlines grounded, then 31% and 50% last year. So who has been watching this story? How has it progressively been affecting an airline's health? And with such a Indian aviation being such a huge success story at the moment, we are actually watching a contrast as we speak, and a slower poisoning of an airline. So has nobody been watching this dire move by an American company is the question of the hour.
Well, I fully agree. It's been, and it's very important to know that Pratt and Whitney is a part of a Raytheon group,
Yes.
which is supposed to have a 150 billion market cap and a 67 billion turnover, and it's a giant, and it also has a lot of exposure into the aviation, defense aviation market. Pratt and Whitney obviously is the engine manufacturer which provided us a vision that their engines are not only fuel efficient, but they are supposed to be reliable. And
What's wrong with the engines? What's gone wrong with the engines? Just in layman terms, if you can explain.
So engines are like they are failing. They are failing like I mean, it's like a pack of cards.
You don't have a warranty? I mean, just very layman terms out here, Kaushik. If I buy a car or I buy a pressure cooker, there's a warranty. Are you saying an engine of a plane carries no warranty? I mean, it's bizarre.
No, I think it's very important to know that Pratt and Whitney, when it started to market these engines, they not only gave us the representation that these engines are going to last for more than 15,000 hours, they also have signed a warranty agreement with us. They also have signed a fleet maintenance program with us, which gives us right to the engines being serviceable.
So
at
why
all
don't you
times.
go and fight them?
So we actually, we thought that Pratt and Whitney, being such a large organization, they would have senses that they have to perform their obligations. We continuously pestered them for last 3 years. Unfortunately, they kept on saying that, yeah, they have some issues, they are trying to do it. But finally, when they bulldozed, in the sense they did not give us the engines which are due, and even as per the contract, there are three things which are important. One is that they have to give the engines which are serviceable at all times. If the engines fail, they have a guarantee. And if the engines fail, they also have to supply.
Don't tell me that you have no recourse.
We have recourse, and that's what we have done. Recourse is that when we found that Pratt and Whitney is not behaving, is not adhering to any of the contractual obligations, in spite of repeated reminders, requests, we finally went into arbitration. And after long thought, after
What happened there?
Okay, it's very important to know that in arbitration, well, normally arbitration would take 1 year, 2 years, but we also found that there is an emergency arbitration process. And we
Did you win or lose?
Sorry?
Did you win or lose the arbitration?
Oh, I mean, I'm very happy that we won.
And then, so then why is the plane grounded?
Okay, let me just complete on what happened. So as late as on 30th of March, we got an arbitration award, which is the emergency arbitration award, completely in our favor. And based on that, we were expecting to receive the engines as promised, as
then
part
what
of
happened?
the... unfortunately, we found that Pratt and Whitney, even after getting that award, and they themselves had given in writing to the arbitrator that they will abide by the award, started behaving to find loopholes, and therefore we again reached out to the arbitrator. He again reinforced second time.
Where was this arbitration?
It was at Singapore International Arbitration Center.
Just 1 minute, just one. You're telling me, and this is an incredible story. Incredible story. Can I just paraphrase what you're telling me? Because I have to pinch myself, Sharmila, to believe that this is actually happening.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think Jyotiraditya Scindia should be doing something about it. I cannot believe here, you have India's third largest airline, one of the world's biggest passenger markets out here. Half the engines fail, the planes are grounded, the arbitration happens, Go First wins the arbitration, not once, not twice. And Pratt and Whitney says, we don't give a damn.
Absolutely.
You can go to hell, basically, they've told you this. This is incredible. I mean, how is this company, Pratt and Whitney, operating in India, and how is Raytheon operating in India without consequences, Sharmila, for something as bizarre as this?